Hi, welcome back. Let's continue looking at tempo and see some ways that an audio file can be used as the basis for generating a project tempo. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the beginning here, and I'm going to import a little drum loop that I have. And I'm going to use the key command, Command-Shift-I. This is another way of bringing an audio file into the Arrange window. Remember we talked about using Shift with the pencil tool? Well, under File, you can go Import Audio File or Command-Shift-I. And I'm going to navigate to a folder here. I'm already here for some loops that I have, and I'm just going to randomly choose a loop. Let's listen to that. That'll do. I'm going to double click it, and it comes into our session. Now this is not based on the tempo of our project. By the way, it's playing back on this channel strip that has a bunch of processing on it. So that's why we're hearing it processed like that. So first thing we want to do is determine how long this loop is, so let's listen to it. Okay, so we hear that it's 4 bars long. First thing we want to do is make sure that there's a setting in the cycle mode here that's disabled. I'm going to control click on the cycle button here, and I want to make sure auto set locators is off, and it defaults to being off, but make sure it's off for the purposes of this. And what we're going to do now is drag the cycle length for 4 bars. It defaults to already being 4 bars, but there it is. I'm going to set it to 4 bars because we know our loop is 4 bars long, and I have this selected. So with both that done, I can go now to tempo and go adjust tempo using region length and locators, or the key command, Command-T. So let's do that. And now what it's done is it has automatically adjusted the tempo of our project here to match the length of this loop. So let's click undo, Command-Z, and we're back to the original one. And let's look at the next option underneath that, and that's adjust tempo using beat detection. So just analyze the file, and it opens up this window, and it's showing me the results field, and it's asking me if I want to create this tempo change only at the selection start here, or if I want to do it at the selection start and end. Now watch what happens. If I go at selection start only, it does basically the same thing the other one did. I'm going to go Command-Z and undo, and let's call that up again by the key command, Command-Option-T. It's doing the same thing. And now if I go at selection start and end, it sets it like that, but then it puts another tempo event at the end, reverting back to our original tempo. So useful to know how to do that. But for setting the project tempo, we're basically going to be using this option at selection start only. So that's a way of setting the tempo based on an imported audio file. All right, let's get rid of that from the Arrange window, and let's try something else. Let's go to the loop browser. O for loop browser, and I'll go to Kits. And Logic can import tempo from an audio file. Let's just select a random beat here. I'm going to drag it into the Arrange window. And I'm being asked if I want to import the tempo information. Let's go yes. And now it's set the tempo to the source tempo of what that was originally recorded at. Let's try this again. And I'm going to take in another loop. Let's take this one. Now I'm getting the same message. Now I'm going to click no. So it's going to play back at the tempo of the project that it was at before, not the source tempo of this loop. But if I decide later that I want to import the tempo from this loop, with this selected, I can go under Options, Tempo, Import Tempo Information from Audio File. And there we go. It just set it to the tempo of that loop. And one more tempo-related function I want to draw your attention to. Under the Audio menu here, we can go Detect Tempo with that loop selected, and it'll show us the result tempo. And this is useful if you're selecting multiple regions that all have slightly different tempos. It averages them out and gives you the tempo to work with. And you can multiply or divide the results. This will multiply it by 180, and this will divide it. There it is at half the value there. And you can enable follow tempo or flex editing. We'll look at those in other videos. And you can nudge it to start at the beginning of a bar, but another way of dealing with tempo. So there you go. Lots of different ways of setting the project tempo. So the main one's just scrolling up and down here in the tempo field. Hitting T for the tempo list, you can set it there. Those are the quick and easy ways for setting static tempos. And then you can get into using the global tracks, setting it there, creating alternative tempo lists, and creating additional tempo events. And also optionally setting the tempo based on the length of an audio loop, or importing the tempo from an audio loop that already contains tempo information. So that's it. Stay tuned, and I'll see you for more next time.